Target locked. Ready to fire.
You can't handle the truth.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. It is Thursday, January 22nd. It's Catch 22. And guys, we got some PCE data just came in hot off the press 10 minutes ago. We're going to go through that. Also got some GDP data this morning. But the big thing in the news, no more tariffs, 10% tariff on Europe. That's off the table. There has been a deal reached. We haven't figured out exactly what it entails, but it does look like it met a lot of the things that Trump was going for. Of course, as OC and I were just talking about, we'll discuss it some more here in a little bit here on the stream. But, he's not putting a U.S. flag there and claiming it as a 51st state. But you don't always, shoot for what you want on your requests, on your demands, on your negotiation. You go above it, right? You don't go buy a car and say, this is what I'm going to pay. You go and say, this is what I'm going to pay. And then they say, no, this is what we want. And then you go like this and you find that deal in the middle. Is that what happened? I don't know. Art of the deal, we'll see. But we'll talk about all that. Got a lot to go over on the charts. Bitcoin stuck between $89,000 and $90,000 with the gamma and the theta. So, of course, we'll get in on all of that, too. And to the person that hit the dislike button, I'm sorry that you have Trump derangement syndrome. Shout out to you, but it is what it is. So let's go get in on this. You guys know what time it is. Class is in session. Let's get it. So you can't always get what you want. Good song, Blackie Chan. You can try sometimes, but you just might find you get what you need. And I think that's what happens. So let's go ahead and get in on this. Today's show brought to you, as always, by Chart Prime and my co-host brought to you by Cozumel, Mexico. What's up, OC? Good morning. How you doing today, bro?
Doing fantastic. Today, it's a brand new day. Pretty happy. Yesterday was a pretty bad night. I got the flu, and yesterday was like burning hot, like fever and stuff like that. Thanks God, my wife had some drugs for me, and like those flu, anti-flu stuff. Dude, those are magical. Right now, I feel so much better, ready to rock and roll. And well, let's see how the day goes.
We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully you stay strong all day. I'm leaving tomorrow morning. Right after tomorrow's stream. I'm hopping in the car and getting out of here before the ice hits us here. I don't know if you saw my post on XOC, but did you see the weather report for up in the northern part of the United States? Did you see that?
Oh, I think so.
Let me see if I can pull that up here. You guys, if you haven't seen this on X, it means you don't follow me on X, and shame on you. But let me find this post. It'd take me like 2 seconds. But this is my post from yesterday. It said, how is 2026 going? Here we go. How's 2026 going? Well, the weather says not so well. Exploding tree risk in the northern United States up there by the Great Lakes. So, yeah, that's our winter weather risk right there. Exploding trees. And if you don't know why that's possible, how that's possible, trees have moisture. When they don't, they're dead, right? So they have moisture, and it's going to freeze so quickly that it's going to freeze that water, the moisture in the trees, and expand the ice, because that's what ice does. The water expands when it freezes. It expands so quickly that it shatters the trees, or they at least crack. So that pressure's got to go somewhere. So yeah, exploding tree risk in the northern United States. Who knew? There you go. Weather, meteorology 101 here at the Piper Academy. So let's go jump in. Give a shout out to the chat right now. We got holy balls in here coming in from Alexander G and Crypto Coin Mindset. Appreciate you guys being here. You know what it is in here with us. David Brumbelow, the Brumblebee, also dropping some holy balls and silver days in here with us. We got Steve Hickey, Mike Vollmer, the Mod Queen, Blackie Chan. We got who else? Man, you guys are just chatting it up today. I love it. Silver days, again, you know what it is. It looks like the same people. Oh, Isaac. Appreciate you, Isaac. Appreciate you being here. CJ Taylor, that's my brother. Shout out to you guys joining us here on the stage. Scar, I see you, Scar. I got you, man. I got you. And I think that's about it. Anthony Soprano, have fun, y'all. Appreciate you, Anthony. Always big shout out to all the Otter gang that joined us over there from Alex O Crypto. Appreciate you guys sending this direction. And Wick's wife, 2 Dubs in the house with us. So Is that it? I think I got pretty much everybody. Loco for crypto. Hachi Tobias there. Eric Ball and Wallet. He said present. Man, you guys are just chatting it up. We'll come back and give a shout out to you guys. I appreciate you all joining us here, though, for the morning market report. Let's go jump over into the Bitcoin chart real fast and talk about what's over there. And then, of course, as I said, we're going to break down the theta and the gamma today off of the options levels for Bitcoin. There's a reason that we're stuck in that range that we're in. And we talked about it yesterday on the show also, that $90,000 range. We did get a rejection off of it, returned right back to it. And so you guys need to know what's going on with all of that. But let's go into the chart and we'll talk about this level. It's this $90,000. I put this on the chart yesterday, this dash white line here. We did get a small pump against it, but I said, look, guys, if we can't close above it for 2 candles, then forget about it. And we did this big wick down to about $87,000 yesterday. And then in that same 4-hour candle, pulled all the way back up. Now we are stuck beneath that 90K. Why does this matter? Because the 90,000 is going to be our gamma level. That's our top of our options. And the $89,000 level, which is about right here, is going to be our theta. So anywhere in here is where options make the most money. That's why as soon as it broke below that, it got pulled up hard back above over correction and then stayed inside this range here. So the $89,000 to $90,000 range is going to be the one to watch. If we break below the $89,000 and hold a couple of candles down there, guys, very likely heading down to the 786, 85,522. If we get above this and don't get rejected on the quantum reactor and hold a couple of candles up here, then very likely going to try to move up. But we have some more resistance above than we do support below at this point. We've got the quantum reactor, dynamic reactor in this nasty golden pocket here, which has been a key level for us to watch for rejection also. So that's what I'm seeing there on that. Oscillator ribbon does look like it's about to curve over. Volume's coming down, money flows coming down. Not looking too strong on the Bitcoin front. OC, what are you seeing on your Bitcoin chart? And then we'll get into the news.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at the a zoom out version of my chart really quickly. So let me clear this spaghetti up, and this is what we got, right? We have a sell out signal. Breakthrough, perfect. It's not about the breakout, it's about the retest and then a continuation. Let's take a look at a closer look now with my spaghetti on. Let's go for it. And as you can see, I was expecting a little bit more of a push up in here as we get to the 0 line. I could still be looking at that, but let's zoom in now. And this candle is not really trying to complain with what I'm looking for, right? But again, it's not what the market. I mean, it's not the market is not going to be doing what I wanted to. It's going to be doing whatever it's going to be doing. Another important thing, it could be another volatility week like that. But the important part is that we need to sustain this upwards movement till that dynamic reactor for then have a perfect entry. If not, I mean, it is just whatever. Just make sure that whenever we start breaking this trend line, so basically somewhere around 88K, the candle is closed and is closed below it. So it's not something like that, all right? And then the next upcoming candle is following along a flip of the ribbon. So something along these lines like this, or something along those lines, all right? So if that happens, it's going to be the next short that we're going to be looking at. And well, other than that, we're still within the same area. I think that the short or the overall short is going to be just like before, as we are expecting somewhere around 85K or 81K. We'll still need to see how much strength on the way down the Bitcoin chart holds, all right? But still, we are on a sellout. And this is a very important part because right here is going to be defining where are we going to be placing our trend line. So far, I was thinking to place it right there because we have the dynamic reactor, but we haven't got it. And everything's pointing at so far, and it can change, that we will have to put it somewhere around those areas. So just keep track on where this pivot is going to play it out. And then we're going to be placing our trend line. That's going to be key for then the breakout and then change of pace. So far, so good. And just really quickly, we got stopped out on XRP today. And well, it is what it is. We're on a 30 minutes chart. It had almost everything: breakout, retest, continuation above the zero line, dynamic reactor above the zero line, going green, and well, it decided to flop back below, and we should have gone, or we should be looking for a continuation short at this point. So do expect some push up in here and then a continuation downwards. We're going to be looking for these entry throughout the day. So other than that, passing it over to you, Piper.
Fantastic. Let's get over to the news and break all this stuff down. We got a lot to unpack here today, guys. Looking at the Into the Cryptoverse metrics this morning, we are sitting just above $3 trillion on the total crypto market cap. Trend line on this is coming in at $4.736 trillion, undervalued right now, currently at about 36.48% undervaluation. What about the wristbands? We're still sitting in the same wristband we've been in for weeks now, but we're getting close to breaking below it, guys. Coming out of that 3x DCA level into a 4x DCA level, coming soon to a wristband near you. Currently sitting at about 40.8 on the wristband. Of course, that is part of the Piper Plan DCA strategy, and you can get all of that in our Discord, dropped every week. Here's your multiplier times your base. Go for it. Go forth to do great things for your future. If you guys are interested, check out the link below. I'm sure that Alexandra G is going to drop all the data here for you. Guys, looking at the Bitcoin dominance with stable coins, sitting at 59.24%. Without stables, 65.68%. Holding above that 65%. Moved towards 66, honestly, now. Bitcoin dominance getting stronger. Taking a look here at the 24-hour liquidation levels, according to CoinGlass data, in the past 24 hours, 133,834 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $521.89 million. Largest single liquidation order was an ETH trade on Hyperliquid. Holy balls, OC. $40.2 million on a single trade liquidated. How are we looking on longs versus shorts today? Shorts are in the lead, 50.6% there of the trades are shorts, 49.4% sitting in longs right now. Bias is towards shorts today on the market. How about the Fear and Greed Index? Looking at X marks the spot. Fear and Greed for the total crypto market cap right now, sitting in extreme fear. We are at 20 and not looking too strong there. We have spent a majority of our time either in fear or in extreme fear since October. We did have one day in greed last week, and then it took us right back the other way. This is from the thumbnail. Here you go, guys. This is from Donald J. Trump. I promise not to do this to Greenland. At least he's got a sense of humor, man. Trump Tower sitting there in the middle of Greenland. But yeah, I made the thumbnail from that image. What else we got? Here's the deal. Here is the deal. You ready? From the Kabisi letter, breaking initial details on the Trump-Greenland deal have emerged. 1, involves small pockets of land for the U.S. 2, U.S. involved in Greenland's mineral rights. 3, the duration of the deal has an indefinite time frame. So there's no like 90 days or 9 years, none of that, indefinite. Designed to block Russian influence in Greenland. The U.S. Golden Dome, which is the anti-missile defense system, will be involved there, and then opens doors to the U.S.-backed infrastructure investments. I saw an image on a post the other day, and I tried to find it, but I couldn't locate it again. But it showed the Earth, the globe, looking down from the North Pole on it, right? And if you look at all of the main locations of bases and stuff in Russia, all of them draw lines over them to the United States. Greenland covered most of the trajectory lines for missiles. So some type of THAAD system, tactical high altitude air defense system, aka THAAD, something along those lines, being placed there, aka the Golden Dome, would block a whole lot of trajectory towards the United States from Russia. And again, goes back to the Monroe Doctrine, keeping outside influence out of the Western Hemisphere. And so now that does block Russia there. Opens the door to U.S.-backed infrastructure investments, and Trump is looking to secure land, minerals, and defense in one deal. Looks like that's what is in this initial deal so far. So the U.S. GDP grows by 4.4% in quarter 3. We're going to break all this down in a minute. Natural gas, buying the weather dip again, guys. Up 28% the other day. Today, natural gas prices extends gains to 75% in 3 days as an Arctic blast spreads across the U.S. This marks the largest 3-day gain for natural gas in history. guys, I'm telling you, keep some dry powder. Your energy bills are not going to be pretty next month. It's going to get spread around. Also, this was from the Rand report. He said, as we saw in 2019, the end of quantitative tightening didn't have an immediate impact. It took a few months of consolidation before triggering the bullish reversal. 2019 was when Bitcoin started to have its uptick, and then we dropped. Then COVID happened, and then we went into the cycle. And I've heard Ben Cowan talk about this several times, but that, you know, the comparison of where we are right now compared to 2019, which is not in the 4-year cycle. It's not even a normal Bitcoin cycle. It is a QE monetary policy cycle. And so let's see what Titan of Crypto is saying here. QT, quantitative tightening, to quantitative easing, that transition is a process, not a switch. Markets don't bottom the day that the liquidity turns. They bottom after digestion. And he said QT never flips QE overnight. 2019 proved it. If Bitcoin fails to make new highs in 2025, this was a while back that he posted this, by the way, back in November, then and keeps bleeding into the end of the year, 2026, until qualitative easing begins, that's a bear market. Even if markets rebound once QE starts, it doesn't mean an extended bull market. It simply marks the beginning of a new one. And I think that's a great thing that he's talking about there. He's absolutely right. We could be seeing a accelerated start to a new cycle, but it doesn't mean that we're not going to have a bear cycle. After the last two macro liquidity inflections, it took 47 weeks before Bitcoin truly turned. Meanwhile, as dominance declined, markets can lag while rotation happens under the hood. Macro liquidity inflection does not equal immediate upside. And you can see there's that 2019. We went into quantitative easing. This is the Fed liquidity, quantitative easing started coming in, but we still had a downward turn 47 weeks before we actually got some upside movement there. Of course, you do have the black swan in that event. We won't count that. So, but yeah, this is what I'm watching for here, guys. Looking like 47 weeks, we'd be looking at November 2026. Ironically enough, October 2026 is where I think we will find the market bottom based on a 4-year cycle. So, QE cycle overlapping in confluence with a 4-year cycle, with a typical Bitcoin cycle. Very, very possible. That's what we see here. Let's go back over here and finish X marks the spot. I just noticed some good data in there. If you guys don't know about this, Steak and Shake, starting March 1st, Steak and Shake will give all hourly employees at its company-operated restaurants a Bitcoin bonus of 21 cents per hour for every hour worked. Employees will be able to collect their Bitcoin pay after a 2-year vesting period. Thank you, Fold app, for the assist. So they are basically paying everyone a 21 cent raise that they will not get on their check. It's going to be held into the app of 21 cents in Bitcoin per hour per employee. And then after they are there for 2 years, which creates steady employment, right? We don't have to worry about a rollover of our employees, right? They're going to stay to get that. Then that 21 cents worth of Bitcoin, whatever its value is at the time, rolls into they can transfer it to their own wallet. So we take care of our employees. They in turn take care of customers, and the results take care of themselves. So 21 cent per hour kicker in Bitcoin for employees at Steak and Shake. So I saw that what keyed this to me was someone said, is this what adoption looks like? This is exactly what adoption looks like. Let's go into this Greenland deal. We just gave a breakdown on it, but let's just go in and see exactly what's saying in here in this article. Trump says he reached Greenland deal framework with NATO, backs off Europe tariffs, which is what's causing a lot of volatility. Markets, NASDAQ and everything looking strong. Bitcoin, not so much right now. 88,500 where we're at. Donald Trump on Wednesday said he and the NATO Secretary General have formed the framework of a future deal with respect to Greenland. And so that's not finalized, but as of right now, it does look like it's going to involve some mineral rights and so on and so forth, the stuff that we broke down. So we're going to keep watching on this. Once this is finalized, I'm sure it's going to look a little bit different, but somewhere very close to what he's seeing there. Dusty Hunt, I think I was adopted. We'll adopt you, Dusty Hunt. You can be a what's that called when you're connected to a business? You can be adopted by the academy. We got you, man. Let's take a look at the TradFi side here. U.S. Markets, Dow Jones sitting up 0.6%, S&P up 0.45% there, and the NASDAQ up 0.6%. Russell 2K outperforming again today, guys. Small caps are crushing the S&P. It's up 0.8 today. The volatility index down below 17, meaning it's calming the hell down. Bonds market, just 10-year continuing to get sold off from everywhere. Everyone's throwing it off, selling it off there. That's why it's going up, because they have to offer a higher yield rate in order to entice people to buy. So when you see it go up, it means it's being sold. Looking at gold and silver today, gold sitting at $4,845, up slightly today. Silver making a rebound after a pullback into $91 yesterday, up 1.45% today at 93, almost 94 bucks there for that. Copper slightly down, platinum and palladium both to the upside. Platinum's up 0.4, palladium up 0.8%. Looking at the crypto bubbles today, down. Like I said, markets are down. Bitcoin down 1.6, Ethereum down 2.7, BNB down 1, XRP's down 1.8%, Solana's down 2.1, rounding out the top 5 minus stable coins. Other big movers on the market today, Chainlink's down 2.1%, Leo tokens up 2.1%, Zcash down 3.3, pretty much just that little low level of 2 to 3%, nothing major there. And then we got some economic data here. Let's talk about this. Lots of economic data, guys, and I'm going to just sum this up. You guys can see, we'll go down here on my little cheat sheet, and we'll just give the breakdown. So overall, putting it all together, GDP was revised up. Consumer spending is strong. Those are growth indicators, okay? Inflation, core PCE is stuck at 0.2%. Headline PCE year over year is ticking up. GDP price index surged from 3.8, thought it would be 4.3, came in at 4.4. And then labor and income jobless claims were low-ish, but slightly higher than last week, but below expectations. Income is stable enough. The Fed's conclusion, if you read between the lines, we are restrictive, but not restrictive enough to break the economy, and inflation hasn't cooled enough to justify easing, meaning we don't have any reasons to raise rates. We don't have any reasons to cut rates. This data extends the plateau. So market implications, bonds, bearish. Rate cuts get pushed later, not canceled. So it's bearish for the bonds market. Equities, your stocks, stuff like that. Mixed. Growth helps earnings. Valuations suffer if the rates stay elevated for much longer. And then Bitcoin and crypto, short-term liquidity delay equals a headwind. Risk assets will stall, chop, or retrace, which is exactly what we're seeing there. Midterm, this raises policy error risk, meaning the longer this goes on, the more people are going to get scared that they've either waited too long or haven't cut enough or whatever. Sticky inflation is the bottom line, though. Plus, delayed cuts equals eventual volatility. Historically bullish for Bitcoin after a delay, like we just talked about on QE. But yeah, it could be heading into an era of 47 weeks of delay from quantitative tightening to quantitative easing, which is also a volatility push delay, pushing us into a normal cycle. Are you excited or what? Yes. Hey, I love this economic data, guys. And when it all comes together, it works out great. This data doesn't say rate cuts. It says wait longer. Growth is still hot. Inflation is sticky and the consumer hasn't broken. And that's exactly the setup where the market's top right before the Fed pivots. So keep that in mind. That's what I got there today, guys, on all of this. Lastly, though, before we go back into the chart, let's talk about these levels that we are watching. Let's go here, Army charts. There we go. Let's go here and talk about these levels that we're watching on the options, because these are what's really holding that price in that static method there. It's this bottom level, 88,000 now. Top level on this, 89,000. The delta has changed from what it was. It was 89 to 90. Now, because of this down push that we've had, 88,000 is the bottom of the delta, your mean average. And then your top side on that, 89,000, the gamma, where the most money is to be made. It's the pivot line. Above this, it's going to sell off. Below this, it will buy up. That's sitting at $89,000 now instead of 90. And then the theta is the 88,000. That's your bottom side on it, right? If it breaks that, probably going lower. If it's not bought up, and then if it goes above 89, probably going higher if it's not sold off. Of course, the Vega on this, $88,000 to $89,000. That is your zone where options traders are making the most money. OC, any thoughts on the Greenland deal that they laid out there? And then we'll get into that question about the QE and QT. What that means, 47 weeks, man, that's November. That puts us right in that range. But first, let's talk about Greenland. Your thoughts on this?
Well, just to mention at the very beginning, I was asking you, hey, do you really think that, USA is going to be planning a flag in there? Is it Greenland going to be becoming part of the United States?
Do you have a flag?
Huge addition, right? But the point is, and you mentioned something like interesting that I kind of like always had in the back of my head, right? And I always mention, you know what, Trump, he have said it himself. He's a showman, right? And you mentioned something also very, very true, that you never aim to what you really want. You aim higher. So when the negotiations started playing out, well, then you have a little bit of a leverage or a play. Although, talking about leverage, well, we just have seen that when some action needed to be taken or wanted to be taken, like Venezuela, there was no hesitation. And the interviews on Venezuelan soldiers, they've been scary to say the least, right? So,
Sonic weapons. Sonic weapons, I'm just saying.
Holy shit. People puking blood, man. That is not cool. All right. So that kind of actually got into my head. And I think that's exactly what the main point, right? So when you mentioned that is negotiation at this point, I was like, yeah, you know what? This actually got the result that they were looking for, which is getting to my head, right? Get me to think that they're not going to hesitate on something. So what could be the last decision they could be taking? But I think you are right. They're going to be negotiating down to something. And I think they're going to be placing some bases in Greenland. I think that
which is what I said originally. Why not just put more military bases there under NATO authority? When you notice, he negotiated with the NATO Secretary General. So not with Denmark. So he did this through NATO powers. That's exactly what he did. Like that was his avenue of approach, dealing with the NATO Secretary General and doing this under NATO authority. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. I'm curious to see how this all plays out. Do we have any reasons to put some military bases in Alberta, Canada? That's the that's the big question. Shout out to all my people from Alberta out there, the Texas of Canada. OC, let's go talk about silver real fast, and then you can come back and talk about gold. But I want to lay out some stuff going on with silver right now because we're at a key level. We're at a key level. It's at $95. We got to bounce here again. The levels that I've been talking about on here, guys, first of all, was way down here in the $68 to $70 range. I said anywhere in here is a buy. True, holds true. And then we came up to the platinum pocket, and I said, okay, well, as long as we hold the $85 range, then we should be heading higher. If not, we would be heading back down to this level of support, fair value gap right there. No, we held inside the platinum pocket, 1786 to the 1887. And now we have broken it up. We did have a gap right here. We've closed most of that gap on the pullback yesterday, and now we are breaking to a new all-time high above the phase 2. I still think we break $100, guys. I know everyone thinks that $100 is going to be a big sell-off level. I'm thinking we over-exaggerate through that in a very cartoonish manner, and then that $100 becomes our support. It's just I think that's what's going to be the case because so many people are planning that at $100 it rejects. I think that at $100 we push on through and we actually shoot ultimately for like 125, 130. However, I did see an article talking about, actually it wasn't an article, correction. It was Crypto Blood Show. He was talking about that spot prices right now are higher than futures prices right now. And so whenever you've seen that, there's been a massive squeeze because there's a demand for the physical silver. We talked about that 300 to 400 times more paper silver than what there is in physical silver out there on the planet. And so we could be seeing a squeeze. And this is not Piper's assessment. They are talking realistically at some major analysis firms, analytical firms in finance. $375 to $400 silver. Keep that in mind. Holy balls in the chat for that one. OC, what do you got for us on gold, though? Let's go over and take a look at your chart.
Absolutely. So let's get started a little bit with my spaghetti, right? So yesterday we left out and saying, you know what, we could be having a little correction, right? Coming down to this area of support where we had another order block. That order block has migrated a little bit lower. And also we are right now taking this previous order block, which is highly bearish, 70% bearish. Very important, depending on what the macroeconomy does or fear in the market, uncertainty in the market, this could be changing faster. Price action could be changing faster than the volume allocation, which means that the price action is going to be taking that 70% bearish, and then new buyers are going to keep pushing upwards. So how do we buy these, or how do we trade these? I think that would be the question, right? So first of all, we don't buy tops, all right? So that is something that we need to keep in mind. Another one, we were expecting for that flip of the ribbon, and the flip of the ribbon is actually happening faster than I was expecting. Although we need to wait for whatever triangular pattern is going to play it out in here, right? And then after it plays out, that's when we're going to be jumping in for a trade. What does that mean? It means that we're going to wait it until it bounces. And if it doesn't bounces, if it does like this, we're going to be waiting for this flag, this range, this whatever happens in here, and looking for the next flip of the ribbon for a continuation up or something like that. All right. And that's going to be our next entry for the continuation up. But so far, we need to keep on the game and the eyes on, hey, you know what, this can retrace like it has retraced before, right? And remember, we buy on retracements, we don't buy tops. So we buy low, we sell high. Right now, we're high. So far, so good. And I believe that, well, as things start getting hit in the macroeconomy terrain, we can still be pushing to, as we talked about, I would actually say 5,000, 6,000 K gold. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we've talked about that level for a while. We were talking about $5,000 gold when it hit $3,000. So if you didn't hear that on your favorite channel, you were watching the wrong channel. We called it. I bought $30,000 worth of gold, tax G actually, a long time ago, and it's still doing quite well. One thing I will point out though, you said we don't buy tops, guys. You can buy tops. Let me explain something to you. If there's a longer term move to the upside, you can dollar cost average, dip your toes in. Okay. If it pulls back to a percentage that you go, okay, this is my threshold, 3%, 5%, whatever, and you sell. But if it keeps going, you can continue to DCA and feed the winner. So not buying the tops is, yeah, you don't want to buy the top if it looks like it's about to reverse. I just don't see it in the metals the way that the geopolitical tensions and global economies are going, that gold doesn't keep continuing to go higher. So you can DCA, set a stop loss. If it pulls back 3%, take your 3% loss, DCA the next week. And when it stops taking away your 3%, then you're feeding winners all the way up. And it absolutely is a fair dollar cost average way. It's actually better to feed a winner than it is a dollar cost average down and keep feeding something that's draining your profits. So I just wanted to break that out there. OC, I'm going to go through the stocks here in a minute, but if you got a couple of altcoins you want to look at, and then I'll get into our AI stock list and we'll start talking about everything over there and how it's doing today. What do you got for us on some altcoins, bro?
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the alerts that we have set, and let's go over TRX. All right, so TRX, what I'm looking at this point, it's a possible short. And my entry point, since yesterday we were talking about a 0.3052, which is still a pretty good area, I'm going to be lowering that a little bit, and that is because of how that dynamic reactor is at, right? So we're getting closer to that zero line. We are on the dynamic reactor. We see a lot of volatility, and maybe we're just able to slightly break through. Not only that, if I start throwing there my, let's go for swing entries range. So let's go for this one. Let's just give it a second for it to load. And once it loads, well, not that one. Where is it? Let me just turn everything on. And still not showing. All right. Well, here it is. Something important. There it is. Finally. So I was looking for this swing entry range. So I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can. Oh, that was the one. So let me turn that off. And that's it. All right. This is all I need. Perfect. So far, what I'm talking about, it is about this lining here, S1 at W, right? So that is right now indicates a resistance for a short. Not only that, we also have a smart money entry right here. So previously we were aiming at the top of that smart money entry, right? Somewhere around there. But right now I'm considering lowering it a little bit to comply with the center of that smart money entry, and of course that swing entry for a rejection zone, as we haven't broke through that 0 line. So once again, I believe that at this point, a short somewhere around 0.3028 will be a good area to start looking for that short entry and keep track on what it does. Your stop loss at this point is a little bit high, but keep it somewhere tight, somewhere around 0.3064-ish, and adjust as if necessary. What I'm going for, what we're trying to go for, is as closer as we can to this limit, 3072, 3072.5, right? The next one, it is BNB. So BNB has been playing as we were expecting. So basically moving to the upside. So far, we are on the resistance. Let's go back into the 30 minutes because we have an ongoing setup on the 30 minutes. And I was expecting, there we go, on the 30 minutes, a further move to the upside. Although that move to the upside, it's been delayed by the trend line breakout. So we have a breakout, retest, and then off we go. We did move further up, but we hit, there we go, the dynamic reactor. Remember, guys, it doesn't always need to happen exactly, but the theory is the same. Hitting the resistance, rejecting off the resistance, hitting the support, rejecting off the support, or having a little bit of a reaction there, right? So far so good. We have broken, going back down. I know we have a buy up signal here on the 30 minutes, but we're retracing. So most likely we're gonna do another thing like that, and as we have that flip of the ribbon. So we're gonna be looking to see what plays out in here. So far, this is a no trading zone for me. So, and finally, let me go over Solana. Solana, I was expecting a further move to the upside. It actually played out exactly as XRP. So I was expecting a movement to the resistance. It did not. It flat out on me and then rejected down. Nonetheless, at this point, just like in XRP, we're looking for that flip of the ribbon, bounce up, and then we're going to be trying to get that continuation downwards on the 30 minutes. On the 4 hours, it's still the same, looking for that up range support. And if as long as we don't break it, we are okay. But we do have, let me see if we have it here. We do have a quantum reactor signal there. Let me see if it loads. There it is. Quantum reactor rejection, and we also have a reversal in here. So remember, coming down, reversal, and ranging, that means flat path of bearish continuation. So most likely we're gonna break downwards. So keep your eyes peeled for that short. Let me pass it over to you, Piper.
Awesome. Shout out to Alexandra G. A little while ago, she dropped 5 Piper Academy gifted memberships, and I forgot to give her a shout out. So shout out to Alexandra G. And congrats to CJ Taylor, my brother. Hey, look, you got a membership. All set. Appreciate you being a member, man. Let's get you back in there. Singer Fam, Infinite Team A, Infinite Team TA, and then Cider Denim Love. I don't know. But hey, welcome to the new members, guys. Make sure you connect your Discord to your YouTube. Get in there. That's it. That's how you get in right there. That's how you get into our Discord. That's it. It's a $5 membership per month off of the membership. That's it. It's enough to keep out scammers and bots. That's all it is. So shout out, appreciate that, Alexander G. You're awesome, lady. Let's go get in there and take a look at some of our stock plays. I did see that request for Netflix, and what was the other one? Netflix and Tesla. I saw those, and then I also saw Blackie Chan ask about NVO, Novo Nordisk. So let's go talk about these right now, guys. Looking at NVIDIA off of our AI data center list that's in our TradFi watch list of our Discord. We did get a pull down below the golden pocket here, not quite making it to the dynamic reactor. This is the level that I said we needed to watch here. That would be a good area. Got a little bit front ran, popping back up now and heading towards. We got a little bit of resistance, 192.94. That is going to be our 192.54. That's going to be our VWAP there. Also, 50% line coming in right above that. But looking pretty decent right now. Money flow, it does look like it's curving back up. Volume is getting a little bit flat though. A lot of problem on the Mag 7, big problems. I know a couple of weeks ago, or maybe last week, Lunar Beaches was trying to pull up and do all the mags. By the way, if LBC comes back and watches this, here you go. Just type in mags because he had to do like this plus this plus this. Mags is going to give you your Mag 7 somewhere in here. I seen it the other day. So I'm still trying to figure it out without having to do all of the add-on. But I saw somebody that had mags on their chart and it gave them everything. I am not sure where they're getting that data from. Who knows? Anyway, let's go on through the list. Other big movers today, TSM. This is going to be your Taiwan semiconductors. A lot of sell-off here at the top point, guys, but money flow starting to curve back up. Volume getting a little flat. VWAP overbought, has fired twice on this thing, but it looks like it's kind of consolidating at this level here at about 326, 325, and then maybe another move to the upside. TSM looking pretty strong today. What was the other big mover in here? Meta. And I had an article that said, is it time to buy the Meta dip from my Coinbase Pro this morning? Came down. Look at this bounce here, guys. Here's our pull right there. We got a nice bounce here. And actually, this would need to be inverted because when we pull from top to bottom, we invert up for our retracement. So you would click that, and now it's going to flip it all up there. But we are coming in. Look, that thing, that golden pocket there with the big wick sell-off right there, draw it. Thank you. That I think we're going to go back to retest and close that wick. As Piano Matty B says, that which gets wicked gets candlesticks. So, what else we have in here? Let's go check out that Tesla, that Novo Nordisk, and that Netflix. Novo, guys, this is the pharmaceutical company that makes all of the fat people injections, the weight loss. That's the word. That's the word. Sorry, I'm very insensitive with that statement. This is Novo Nordisk, and it's getting a nice move up here. Of course, top to bottom. Now we got to go invert our fibs. But yeah, looking right now, nice bouncing on the dynamic reactor here on the daily. Getting a nice bounce here on the 326. So I think that this is going to continue to the upside. We got a little gap here coming in at about $60. I think we're about to break this and continue extending these fibs to the upside. We are getting a downturn here, but money flow is coming up, and it looks like we're starting to ramp on the volume. So I am expecting that we get another move to the upside on Novo Nordisk right now, up 5% today. Looking at Netflix, I don't know that I would touch Netflix, guys. Netflix is getting hammered on every turn. They're coming down right now, breaking a double bottom almost. They created the double bottom here, but we're not seeing a V-shaped recovery off of this double bottom. I think that the go woke, go broke is in strong effect right now on Netflix. And until I see this get a turn of strength and of quick recovery, this double bottom should have gave us a massive run. Now, I will point out that we did get the power bar firing off here, and the True 7's fired multiple times, but money flow is still pointing to the downside. Is Netflix in trouble? Could be. I don't think it's going to go anywhere as far as like go away permanently, but I think that this has got another run in it to the downside, guys. I'd be watching for it to come all the way down to $70, filling up this CME gap over here. Gap down for that level. Let's go and check out Tesla and see how that's looking. Of course, we got to reverse this again, invert. Thank you much. And let's see what we're looking at here. Okay, so Tesla's got a daily dynamic reactor coming right here on the 50. We did get front ran on that and moving to the upside. If we come back down to $412.55, that would be a strong entry for me. And then if it breaks down below that golden pocket, just go ahead and then accept some losses there and then restock and re-engage. Add to it to lower your average. I do think though it's showing some decent strength here. We did make a lower low and a lower high, but as of right now, if this holds on this 50% level, expect it to go higher on Tesla. And then we had one other one that you asked for. It was Tesla. It was Netflix. It was ASTS, I believe. GLP-1s, Piper, not fat people's shots. I love you, Blackie Chan. I know what they are. I take them, okay? And I'm a fat boy. So let's go look at ASTS. I think someone asked for ASTS. I don't even know what the hell that is. NASDAQ. Oh, Space Mobile. Got it. Let's see here. Well, there was your beautiful buy opportunity down here in the platinum pocket with the daily dynamic reactor. That would have been a nice pick up there. It's showing strength, man. It's showing strength. It looks like it's a little overbought here. I mean, we did get the peak seeker and a lot of bearish divergences. Money flow's coming down, but volume's still strong. I would say that if this thing comes back down into the range of about $68, definitely pick it up. I know that's a way far off from where it is right now, 108. But right now, it's looking decently strong as it holds this $100 level. But keep in mind, on the daily, though, is showing this may have had a good run, and now it needs to cool off. So if it does that cool off, maybe take a look at it and see. OC, I know you got to hop out of here and go get over to your class. Appreciate you, man. But you got anything for the people on the way out besides smashing the like button?
Not much. Just guys, stay safe in the market. Remember to wait for confirmation, and of course, use a stop loss as always. Other than that, see you guys tomorrow.
Awesome. Appreciate you, bro. What was this question here from Bearded Mac Mike? What are your color codes on your chart candles? I've just got them. I changed the colors on them from blue. So blue is green and pink is red. I think that's what you're asking. Unless you're talking about the fibs, and then golden pocket's gold and platinum pocket is bluish. So, all right. You called ASTS at $62. Awesome. Appreciate you guys. I appreciate OC joining us here, and I appreciate all of you guys. Make sure you guys tune into OC at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. OC, Trade Live with OC right here on the Piper Academy channel. Tomorrow morning, BC will be back with JR. They've been partnering up. That's our in-house trader, JR, and Blackie Chan, a.k.a. BC Port Corp, doing Good Morning Crypto right here also on the Piper Academy network right there. Then we'll be back at 10 a.m. to do the morning market report. Until then, guys, trade safe. And as always, use some risk management. Later, guys. We're heading over to Crypto Princess. See you guys over there.
That's the rap. Chart stack data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual, signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done.
You can't handle the truth. Emotional damage.
We'll see you at the next
Don't
one.
know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude. Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?